Resident Evil. Yo, Resident Evil 2 2019 Remake 2, however you want to call it. It's a game that did not need to be made. I think the Resident Evil 2 is perfectly fine with its tank controls and its old school hand-drawn out style. But here we are, and I'm so thankful, so glad that they decided to change the gameplay a lot. So even while the story is the same for the most part, you know, Leon and Claire have to go to the police station, find what the fuck's happened in Raccoon City and all that other stuff. But the gameplay is drastically different. It's over the shoulder and very claustrophobic. All zombies are a major threat because they have like freaking Velcro grips. They can just get to you. Especially on hardcore, that's what I was played for. And you know, I started in, I was played through all Resident Evils. I thought that, you know, this is going to be a walk in the park. No, no, no. This is a rough sumbitch, and I died a whole lot. And man, I lived for it. I lived for it. I loved it. You get to sit there and you play on hardcore, and you have to worry about your bullets again, because you know, usually on Resident Evil 5 or 6 or even 4, okay, you're low on bullets or something, but just, you know, kick a zombie or, you know, suplex him or whatever, and bullets will pop out for whatever gun you need. Not here. And so you need to actually plan on who you're going to shoot, who you're going to try to avoid. Do you shoot their legs off? Do you try to shoot them in the head? All of these little techniques is like, oh, well, you get him down. He's like, do you just try to stab his ass with your knife? You got limited knives, and knives are a defensive item, so if they grab you, you freaking could, you know, press the left bumper and just put your knife in them to keep from taking damage. And all of this stuff adds up to like a whole lot of awesome tactics and stuff that you got to come in through, plan out what you need to do, where you need to go. Mr. freaking X shows up, you know, in the police station about halfway through, and he chases your ass around. He's nowhere near as intimidating as like the alien is. But it ends up kind of putting you into bad situations. Like, say you've been sneaking past these zombies or these lickers this whole time, and then all of a sudden Mr. X comes in the room and you have to run for your life, and then all of the lickers are activated and start whooping your ass. So you have to kind of plan around it and scheme what you're going to do. And often the first thing you do when you get to the new situation is you fail. You fail and you learn from it again. And then so you come back, try to revamp your strategy, and just, you know, take it out the second time, and it feels really good to finally get through or figure out something that's been causing you trouble. Like the damn adult G's in the sewers and the poop. They're all lined up for you, and you need to get your like Uberist gun. You have to go through them and stuff, and finding ways to get through them or sneak past them. Trying to get through the, you know, the super uber death grips that most of these monsters have. Learning that you could, you know, burn the freaking plant zombies and stuff once they fall down so that they don't get back up. All this stuff adds up to make a huge, huge game that's about gameplay. And of course, you know, you got the Leon A and Claire B, and then Claire A and Leon B, that gives you like basically 4 playthroughs. And it's not as diverse in story compared to the original Resident Evil 2, but it has gameplay changes, so they'll alter the stuff slightly or just enough, or they'll change like your starting pistol or whatever it is. That'll make you need to play the game differently. And you pick up that. You pick up the little nuances that they added in there. And you know what you got to do. Ammo is a little bit more scarce on the second B playthrough. And you know, they really go together. They go together. And I ended up playing all 4 variants. I really, really like those. They're awesome. I can see why people do a lot of speed running and trying to do S ranks and all that stuff. It's games that, you know, it's going to take about 8 or 9 hours the first time around, but I think I was down to like 4 or 5 by the time I'd done my 4th run. And I know that if I had played it, you know, a little bit less cautiously and that picked up everything, I could have done it even faster. And I can see people, you know, trying to shave their time and playing the same thing over and over again. They added like a ghost survivor, or it's like some little side missions or stuff at the end. So after you beat the game, these little survivor missions open up. I don't think they're too hot. They're kind of the weakest link of this game. They really kind of seem to be played basically the same way, and they're almost they're so hard. They really make you play only a certain way, in my opinion. Maybe if you get like good enough, there's variants of how you play it. It didn't look like to me. There's probably one optimized way to play it that the internet finds out, and then you're just forced to do that way. So I didn't think it's real hot there, especially when, you know, later director's cuts of Resident Evil 2 had a battle mode where you're essentially you could pick your character, and they had loadouts, and you would essentially start back at the lab part at the end of the game, and you have to work your way toward the front. I would have preferred to have something like that, or just a mercenaries type mode, but that's missing here, and so it's not too bitch about it because I got 40 hours of play out of it, just going through the 4 campaigns, and just I could see a lot of people trying to just. I've heard people say, well, I played through it 70 times. So, yeah, I understand. And I heartily recommend this game. When it first came out, I was still pretty mad at Capcom at the time. I thought Resident Evil 7 was a pretty good game. It didn't get me, though. It didn't get me the way this one did. And then, of course, it being just a remake of a game I've already played through multiple times, it's like, well, I mean, I wanted the story to move forward, and it's just, well, you got to kind of come to the grips that Capcom doesn't know where their story's going or anything like that. Probably, well, there was a debate whether this game should have been, you know, first person or third person. I'm actually okay either way. Maybe they can, you know, eventually do something where could do it where you want to, kind of like Morrowind. I don't know. Definitely give this game a run. I mean, hey, I would play it hardcore. Kitty, we're giving the paw way up. We love Resident Evil. We love the new challenge. And then, of course, Brian's giving the paw up because, you know, got to hoard all the items. Got to plot and scheme each thing out. Got to, you know, try to preserve as much ammo. Do we take a hit from the zombie to get these herb because they got plenty of herbs? Or do we, you know, shoot him because we got plenty of bullets? All these basic little questions, you know, play out, and it's just so good. And I'm hyped for Resident Evil 3. Really, really hyped. And the standard and bar is high now, so let's see if they can pull it off.